So
very excited.
Another question that we got, another email. Just wanted to talk about how the Lions would maybe fare against the rest of the NFC teams, and so I'm taking a look at this schedule.
First, no, we got to stop this for a second. Chris actually went through and broke down the Lions schedule. He did his research on this one, and that's a very good thing.
Yes.
But I'm proud of him because I wasn't going to do it.
I'm glad you did. Yeah, and you know. It's encouraging, personally. I mean,
it is.
You look at the schedule.
Looking at the schedule.
You start off in Atlanta for the Lions, in Atlanta, at home against Green Bay, in San Francisco, and then at a bye week, week 4.
Right.
That
I don't like that.
Having a bye week after 3 games, that sucks. I'd rather see like 9 or 10. But
I guess it gives the young players a little more time to develop, which is a good thing. But I would rather see that bye week later in the year so you're nice and rested for the playoffs.
Exactly.
Yes, I did say the playoffs. Because
they will make the playoffs. But you got that bye week, and then right after that bye week, you're home against Chicago, which will not be a tough game.
Right.
Because we all hate the Bears. So
I hate the Bears.
All right, so we got. I think you can see it winning in Atlanta, winning in San Francisco, and winning at home against Chicago. And I almost can even say that I can see us beating the Packers at home. The Packers are going to be a totally different team this year without Brett Favre, and they'll be having to fight through the new quarterback. Although Aaron Rodgers did look good last year.
He did look good in his limited time
against the Lions. But we won't talk about that. I mean, Brett Favre.
A lot of quarterbacks looked good against the Lions last year.
Yeah. Brett Favre was a lion killer.
Oh my gosh. We never beat him in Lambeau.
Yeah, let's and speaking of which, why would we have to always play in Green Bay at the end of the year in late December, week 17 in Green Bay? It seems like that happens every year, and that's not right.
I don't like it, and I don't agree with it. It's not easy to end in Green Bay. Not only that, but you guys have you got home against Green Bay earlier in the year. We got them, week 2. Oh wow,
that's the way
great.
That's the way scheduling works. You play teams in your in your division twice.
Yeah, that's the way it works, and there's no advantage to that. But guess what? We go week 17. It's not going to be warm.
Oh,
it is not going to be warm.
You mean on December 28th, it's not going to be warm in Green Bay?
I don't think so.
Well, we'll see. But
at least they don't have Brett Favre and his amazing record under freezing conditions.
So we'll see if Aaron Rodgers can establish a new dynasty.
Yeah,
there,
hopefully not.
Speaking of which, what were they thinking drafting 2 more quarterbacks?
Very upset.
So
I did not like it. But they are a rival of us, so if they want to mess up with their draft, that's fine.
Absolutely.
Speaking of not picking up a quarterback, Chicago Bears.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me at
Bears
all.
fans everywhere are just so upset right now.
I know.
And I can see
you know
why.
What? Hey, it's welcome to the life of a Detroit Lion fan.
A bunch of not getting what you want.
Yes. So, all right, but looking at the schedule some more, I see us winning those first 4 possibly. And then, we always struggle in Minnesota. And that's our week 6 game is in Minnesota. And I can't remember the last time we won in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And so
it would be nice to have that coming off the bye.
That would be and then you go after there. You go out to Houston, and Houston had a decent team last year. Were they a playoff team last year?
No,
no,
close, but they weren't.
Right. So that'll be a tough game. So I see us winning the first 4 and then losing the next 3 because then you play Washington at home. And there's something about Washington that they just have our number. They're going all the way back to the playoffs in 92, was it?
And I think Washington did a good job in the draft this year.
Yeah, they just have our number.
They got talent around that young quarterback.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but then I see us possibly, we won 2 games in Chicago for the last year for the first time in a long time.
Right.
And I think that we could repeat that again this year. Jacksonville at home is going to be a tough game.
But I like it at home.
Yeah, that is at home. I just think that's a tough game.
Yeah.
In Carolina. Carolina wasn't a great team. They weren't terrible, but that's a winnable game, I think you have to say.
Well, and you have Jake Delhomme coming off surgery. You have no idea how he's going to fare with that. You really don't. They've never dealt with that injury in football.
Exactly. And then you look, Tampa Bay always plays the Lions tough. I mean, we beat them last year, but I don't want to say lucky, but in the right place at the right time, we'll say. So that's going to be a tough game. Tennessee on Thanksgiving, bringing Vince Young into town.
Bring him into town. They did not do enough to surround him with talent at the wide receiver position. I think the Titans are going to struggle this year. Our strengths match up really well with their weaknesses. I like that game.
I do too. I think that's a very winnable game for us. I think Tennessee is going to make I think they're going to have a decent team again this year. But I think that's a winnable game for us. And then following that up with home against Minnesota. We seem to play Minnesota well at home, so I think that's a winnable game too.
Yes.
Then you hit the last 3 games, which include a trip to Indianapolis where they pump fake crowd noise through the systems. I'm still convinced that they do that.
No, absolutely not. Peyton's that good. You know
Okay.
how I feel about Peyton.
I know how you feel.
I'm
about
sorry,
that.
the Colts are awesome. The
right.
Colts are awesome,
And that is why we will lose that game.
it's okay. It's an understandable loss.
Then we move into the next week where we go down to New Orleans, or we're home actually against the Saints.
We are home against the Saints.
And that's another winnable game there, I think. And
I think
then
we'll be okay there.
But then, as we said earlier,
Week 17.
in Green Bay losing. And so...
And that game will have, I believe, some very serious playoff implications.
Oh, absolutely it will.
I think both teams are going to be coming in.
It could be a division championship
It
on the
could
line
be.
there
It
too.
really
so.
could. If all goes to plan.
So let's just break down the schedule a little bit more. You look at the schedule, and of the teams that we play, there's 10 teams that we play this year that had a 500 or better record last year. And if you look, we play 6 of those teams at home: Green Bay, Washington, Jacksonville,
nice.
Tampa Bay, Tennessee, and Minnesota. 2 of those, and then we play 4 on the road. And
Yep.
2 of those games on the road are teams that were 8-8.
Yeah.
Minnesota and Houston, so not incredible.
Right.
Then you look at the other 2 games, and that's Green Bay and Indy, which
Right.
I don't think we can win either one of those. But you never know.
If you pull one out,
You
that's
never know.
okay.
So you look at that and having those 6 games at home against. I think you can win. Say even if you win 5 of those 6 or 4 of those 6,
Yeah.
that's huge. So
It's very huge.
I think my realistic prediction for the season is 9-7. I think they sneak in with a wild card, or maybe even with winning the NFC North. I think I can see that's a very realistic goal.
Yeah.
John Kitna being the best quarterback in the NFC at the moment, until Aaron Rodgers or Brian Brown proves otherwise.
Brian Brown.
So
No way.
so 9-7. I think I see that as a realistic prediction.
I like it. And then you look at the Lions, and we've always been so good at home.
Exactly.
And even when we have bad years, we generally have about a 500 record at home. And these tough teams that we're playing are at home. But I think we're going to be a better road team this year because we're going to play a little smaller ball. We're not going to just be airing it out like we were in the past.
Right.
We're going to run. We're going to establish a run. We're going to play tough defense, Marinelli football.
Exactly.
And that's going to give you more success on the road.
So give me a prediction.
I like 9-7, but I am definitely going to disagree with a few of the individual games. I think at Carolina is a tough game. I don't think we're going to get a W there, but I do think we're going to get a W when Tampa Bay comes into town.
Okay.
I do like us beating Minnesota, possibly on the road, just because it's coming close off the bye week. We could be on high, but you never know. It's tough.
Well,
it's tough. I really feel good about the Falcons in week 1.
Who
It
doesn't?
seems like we're always playing the Falcons or the Cardinals week 1, week 2, somewhere in there. We're playing some cupcake team, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Also, I like the game against Houston.
I do too. That was a tough one for me. I just think going down, we struggled.
Roy likes Texas. Roy wants to play good there.
Well, maybe he'll be auditioning for a job.
Yeah, maybe he'll audition.
So,
exactly. Do some Cowboy Scouts.
So yeah, I can see. Like I said, I can see us going 9-7, but I can also see us going 7-9.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, but I'm gonna go and say 9-7. I'm not gonna be in the middle. I'm gonna say 9-7. I think I'm gonna be the typical optimistic Lions fan.
There you go. Be optimistic. I'm gonna go 10-6.
10-6.
I'm gonna go 10-6.
How far in the playoffs do you think we'll go then?
We're gonna lose first round.
Think so?
Yeah, we'll lose our first playoff game just because of experience and honestly, we've won one playoff game since 1956.
The curse of Bobby Lane is over.
It is over.
So, do you want to change that prediction?
No, I can't. You know, the thing is with the curse of Bobby Lane, it is over, but some would say that it does go through this year as well. So I don't know. The curse of Bobby Lane, it's tough. It's tough to get over that 50 years of losing. I don't think playoff-wise we're going to stack up yet, but I do like to see us making the playoffs this year. I really do.
All right. So Craig and Chris,
crazy.
Our prediction: Lions we both say 9-7. He says 10-6.
I do say 10-6.
And both of us say they'll make the playoffs. So that's our prediction.
There you go.
This is the Craig and Chris Show, not on ESPN Radio.